You know what? Let's start with a big breath in. And let it out. One more. And let it out. Let your knees bend. Big inhale, let your ribs expand. And let's hold it up here. Exhale. And your next inhale, let's press up and go over to one side. Bring it down, up and over to the other side. And one more time each way. And then back to center, and let's circle it out. It's nice and loose. And let's go around the other way. And let's do some elbow circles. So we have some more advanced moves today. When you do a different month every day of class, you move through the year pretty fast. So our squats are becoming single leg squats, our rows are becoming renegade rows. Our deadlifts are going to get heavier. We have finishers. So, boom, we're just flying through 2021. And then flip your thumbs back, little circles to the back, pinch the shoulder blades together. And then let's roll your arm in the shoulder socket. One more. Let your arms gradually drop down. Oh, swing it out. Roll your shoulders, get those crunchies out. Maybe one side at a time. Let your ribcage move, picking everything up. I don't know what it's doing where you are, but it's very cold where I am. Got heaters going, got wood stove going. Seems too early. Here we are. And move and stay warm. Up those hips out side to side. Notice if there's any pinching, grabbing, tightness. This is your chance to work into it, loosen it up, explore. Let's make some circles. And reverse. And maybe just a couple of figure eights. And reverse direction, couple the other way. And let's bring your hands down to the knees, circling it out. And reverse. We're going to get our legs nice and warm. This first set is pretty leg intensive. Let's start mobilizing the ankle. Circling both ways, doesn't matter what pattern you're doing, side to side or circles. Let's switch legs. Make sure you're getting the motion out of that joint. And then bringing your feet under your hips, spread your toes out and come up onto the ball of one foot. Ball switch, change to the other foot, prancing. Yeah, crackle, pop. $19 and $20. Let's bring both feet down. Let's take, hold on if you need it for balance. We'll see, I might need it too. We're gonna take one leg out and do some ankle wiggles. We're gonna do about 20 wiggles on each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm not gonna do wrist warm-ups and ankle wiggles at the same time because I'll fall over. Here I go, side 2, 4, 6, 13, 14, 15. Good. So let's take a moment, let your ankles rest. Circle out your wrists. Make waves. Maybe Do some stretching. Take that stretch into your arms. And switching sides. And you can come back to these anytime you need it. Take our feet nice and wide. And we'll go side to side. Hips back. Whole foot is working. You're not popping the outside of your foot up. It's going to put a lot of strain on your knees. You guys look great. And let's hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's turn and pulse that knee down and up, down, up. Push that heel back. Give yourself a nice big calf stretch. Walk your hands back to the middle and come over to the other side. I know, confusing. Let's do 8 little pulses on side 2. See if you can get any work through that ankle. The ankle doesn't want to move. Happens sometimes. And let's turn around, pushing the back leg, pushing that heel back. Get a nice big calf stretch if you can. And then we'll drop the knee up and down for 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back up. Walking back to center, bring your hands on your knees. Walk your feet in just a little bit. I find it more comfortable. And we're going to hang out here. Drop one shoulder, drop the other shoulder. Yes, warm up is feeling like work. Oh my goodness. Here we go. 4, keep switching. Stretch and breathe. Your low back stretch. And gradually come down a little bit lower into your squat. Take your feet into whatever position you need. And drop one shoulder and hold. And then drop the other shoulder and hold. Then we'll take our hands to the floor and do 6 bottoms up. This is 1. Take it down, pop it up. Make sure your head, neck, and shoulders stay relaxed. And then let's bring it all the way down on the floor. A little bit more I want to do to wake everything up before we start work with weights. This is all unweighted work. So go back to that warm-up move we did where our legs were straight out. And we bend that top knee 90 degrees. And use your hip muscles reaching down to try to touch your knee and toe to the floor. Take your time. And then stretch it back, reaching for the floor behind you with your toes. So everything's going forward, getting a nice big stretch deep in the hips as you go forward. If you can't touch, it's not a problem. Not an issue, and it's nothing to worry about. I want you to get as much movement as you can out of your hip. And you don't know how much movement you can get out of your hip until you actually try getting that movement. So appreciate what you've got and see if you can get a little bit more each time you move that leg. You can ease into it. Do one more. And then you can roll over. I'm going to butt pivot. We'll do the same thing on side 2. All the way down. The leg stretched out. Let's bend that top leg. Oh, stretch that knee and toe down to the floor. So we're not doing this if we can help it. You want everything to get down and reach to the back. Some people have a harder time reaching to the back. Some people have a harder time reaching to the front. The important thing is that your hips are staying stacked and you're not rolling forward, rolling back. You want your hips to be guiding your leg, not your body to be moving your hip. That makes sense. Do do 2 more. And then we'll come on our backs. It's not nap time. We're going to windshield viper to the right, to the left, nice and slow. Let your hips get that stretch. Come back to center, lift up into a bridge. The right, left, we're going to add on, come back to center, pelvic tilt, push your back into the floor, lift up into a bridge and lower down. 2 more times each way. Right, left, center, tilt and lift. Right, left, last one, center, tilt and lift. Reach behind your thighs. Roll around on your back if you need it. Well, this morning where we are, if you're watching this after the fact, you might be already warm and wonder why we're doing this. But here we are. Let's come up to standing. Let's get a chair ready, or a bench or a table, well, something you can sit on. That's a comfortable height. You need to be able to sit. Because our first adventure is single leg squats. So we're going to go through, we have 1 set of 3 exercises, 1 set of 2 exercises, and then another set of 2 exercises. So we're going to go through this first one 3 times. We'll go through all of them 3 times. But we have our single leg squat, a renegade row, and a deadlift. Very hip intensive. Find a chair, grab your water, give your legs a pep talk. I don't think I've done these since the last time we've done these together, so hey, we're all in it together. So sticking one leg out, you can start dominant. We're going to take a big inhale and come up and come down. It doesn't need to be a light touch. You can come all the way down as long as you're not just dropping. We're going for anywhere from 4 to 8. You don't have to go my pace. Listen to your legs, your knees, your ankles. Down and down. Getting ready to switch sides. Whew. Give yourself a little break. Make your legs. They're working hard. Non-dominant side. Feels weird, yeah? Take a big breath in. Give yourself a little momentum with that arm push or swimmer's arms. And see what it feels like. So same thing on side 2. 3, 4, 5. Ooh, a little more wobbly on this side. And 8. Whoop. So if you find yourself super wobbly and you can't go up and down without feeling like you need to hold on to something, don't sweat it. 1 finger on something is often enough to correct your balance. 1 finger on something is not enough to hide what your leg is doing or mask what your leg is doing. So you're giving yourself a little bit of a balance point, allowing your leg to do all the work. And that's what it's all about. Okay, we're going to come down on the floor. And do our renegade rows. 2 ways to do them. You want a weight that is heavy enough to challenge you in either a plank or a hover. There's 2 ways to do this. We can step back into a plank with our feet nice and wide and row. Or if a full plank doesn't work for you, try doing it from a hover. And again, your feet are going to be nice and wide, but we're really focusing on what your core is doing while your arms are lifting weight. We're going to go for, let's go for 8 on each side. So choose your position. I'll start in the renegade row and we'll count to 16 lifts. 15, and 16. Stretch back into child's pose when you're done. You want your back to stay nice and happy. So we're going to come back up to standing. Take about 30 seconds here, but all the work you were doing with the squats and the rows, settle down, grab a drink, and find heavier weights or a heavier object that you want to lift. Hopefully not a squirmy object like a dog. Working on the other one, see if that works. I just wasn't pulling hard enough to get the weight out. I was going to use 2 weights, but I'm going to use 1. You're welcome to have a weight in each hand. We'll start with our feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Hinging back, knees bend a little bit, but really back is flat and I'm working through my hips. I'm going to grab that weight and lift it up. And this is to get to our starting position. So from here, we're going to hinge back and then come up. Let's go for 10 if we can. 3, squeeze those glutes to lift yourself up. Up through your toes. Down, down, down. You don't have to reach the floor. The heavier you go, the more important it is to have it drilled that your back is flat. So if you're carrying something heavy and you go down and you let your back round and then you try to lift up, you're in this position and it's not going to feel so good. Okay. So let's actually just come into a forward fold. Let your back stretch, let your hips stretch. Maybe take your hands to one side or the other. This first set's going to go a little slower because you're doing much heavier work than we had been doing. You just can't go boom, boom, boom through single leg squats and the deadlifts and the rows. But we have plenty of time for our workout. Let's get going in about 20 seconds. We'll go back to our squats. So if you're feeling good with your squats, you can feel free to add a weight and we'll just hold it right here. So right, we're going through a whole month's progression in one workout. You could hold it here. But let's start seated. And you can start non-dominant or dominant, your choice. And if you're using the weight, let's keep it up here this time so it's not moving. So let's go for 8 on each side. Or whatever number you got to before. Hopefully your muscles are saying, I remember how to do these. Nice. There's a little plopping there. That's the sign that says I haven't done these in a long time. Okay. When you're ready, let's go for side 2. And good work. You're still finishing, finish. These things out of the way. Grab a quick drink. And we'll come down on the floor and do our rows. Okay, I'm gonna try them from a plank this time. Remember, from a plank, to hold your stability so you're not rotating with every move, shifting your weight. Take your feet nice and wide and stabilize through your whole length of your body. So feet are wide, and let's go for 16 pulls. Abs are tight, glutes are tight. And 60. And let's rest with the weights to the side. Take back into child's pose. Let's stay here for about 20-30 seconds. Or any stretch that works for you, cat-cow. Taking your arms to one side, to the other. Whenever we're working the glutes intensively, like we are today, with heavier weights or a lot more movement, the glutes are attached to the back muscles. We just want to be super kind, super kind to how our low back is feeling. And then we're not doing anything that's asking our low back to do something it isn't designed to do. Low backs were not designed to lift heavy loads, but your hips are. So let's grab that heavy weight. This is your basic double leg deadlift. Doesn't need to be stiff leg. Roll your shoulders back and down. Make sure your back is nice and flat. Big breath in. And exhale down. I don't go much past my knees. My back stays super flat. I love what I'm seeing. You guys look great. Last one. This is my 10. See if you can get to 10 and then put the weight down safely. Swing your arms out. Shift your hips. Do circles. See what feels good. Maybe crank up the tunes. You don't have to hear me talking. You can just listen to happy music. We have one more round. And then things start going a little bit faster. So let's take another 30 seconds or so here. Standing cat-cow. Tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin, letting your back round, and then lengthening. So leave it to me to give you a cue late. So I've been doing one side with my leg out, one side with my heel on the floor, my non-dominant side, because I've been doing this with my heel down because this leg is always going to be a tiny bit weaker than the other one. I haven't figured out or committed to is probably the best way to say it, how to get the side equally strong. So you could also try doing it with one foot touching the other. You could try doing it with your foot off the ground the whole way. You could try doing it with your legs crossed. I know we've done these in class in the past, but we haven't done them recently. So your choice where you put your foot. If you need the support, heel down, or one foot on top of the other or next to the other, just the toes. So you're still working through one leg, but not pushing through the other leg. Let's get going. Let's do 4 to 8. Last time through, coming up, I'm starting non-dominant this time. 2. 5. Again, the most important thing is that you're controlling the descent. And then switch sides when you're done. And 8. Good. How's it going without the plops? Trying to see what you're doing. Keep going. Finish up your set. Nice. Looks great. I'm gonna put my bench back in place. I'm gonna try doing the rows from a hover again. And what I like about doing it from the hover is, if you look down, you can see if your knees are rotating out and opening up because your whole body is shifting to lift. See, to what extent you can keep your knees pointing down to the floor. So setting up, find your hover, and let's go. 16 rows. Breathe. Almost there. When you're all done, child's pose, let your back stretch. One last exercise before we move on to something absolutely completely different. Keep going in about 20 seconds. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Find your weights. Adjust up or down if you need to. Set your back. Set your hips. And we're going to hinge. You want to make it more of a power move, you can go down slow and snap your hips up fast. Last one. Put that weight away. Good. Now let's take a full minute and just observe what your body did. Hula hoops, figure eights, standing cat cow, drink of water. Our first move in the next set is an Arnold press. Upper body, your hips and your legs will get a longer break. So we're pairing the Arnold press with hamstring walkouts, because We just can't leave the lower body alone. So for Arnold press, it's a bicep curl to overhead. Choose your weight. It's like choose your weapon. And see if you can have one for each hand. If you don't have an equal weight for each hand, do one side then the other. With the weight in each hand, we're going to alternate sides. So bicep to press. Don't forget the rotation. When you're at your shoulder, your knuckles are always facing you. And then we come down. So 1 and up, down, and down, 2. Nice. Halfway there. 10. 11. It's building. 17. Smile. Everything feels better when you're smiling and breathing. Last set. Up and up. Put the weights down. We're going to go right down on the floor. Roll your shoulders so you can get rid of the tension in your shoulders from doing those. Okay, setting up for a bridge. We've done these many times. Hips, knees, and ankles all lined up, pressing through your whole foot. We're doing 4 walkouts. So lifting up, walk forward till you can't anymore, and then walk it back and lower down. That's 1. Lifting up and lowers. 2. 3. And 4. Hug your knees into your chest. We're going to take another 30 seconds or so, let your upper body recover. And then we'll come back to our Arnolds. Arnolds. You can skip the bicep curl if you wanted to. You could, although I like them, we could do them together. You can go a little bit lighter. If your weights are lighter, we could do both arms at the same time. Why don't we try that? Maybe we'll keep the bicep, but we'll try doing both arms. And if your weights felt light, stay with it and see what it feels like. If your weights were heavy, go a little bit lighter. Okay. Check in with your neck. Check in with your breathing. And let's go. Both sides up, up, down, down. Requires a little bit more core strength to hold your posture nice and strong. 3. Nice. 4. Good rotations. 5. 8. Almost there. 2 more. Up. 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 So if it feels harder doing them at the same time, it's because you're not giving your shoulders a break like you do when you alternate. So you can lower the weight, but you're not giving your shoulder muscles any rest in between the moves. Let's come down on the floor. Hopefully you can see me. Another round of walkouts. We're just doing 4. If you get to 3, that's fine. If you want to do 5, that's fine. I'm stopping at 4. And lift up and walk, walk, walk. You have to hold your abs tight. You have to keep your glutes engaged. Lower down between each one. And if you need to, pelvic tilt and then lift up and walk, walk, walk. And lower down, nice and easy on the back. And one more, up. And down. Put your knees in. Oh. And roll it up. We have one more quick round. Then we have a plank, and then we have a finisher. Almost done. It's Tuesday. It feels like Monday. Let's grab our weights. We're going to do it just like we did before. If that felt good to you. If you stand in a stagger stance to help your posture and your right foot is always in front, shift. Go put the other foot in front. Think about holding your spine nice and strong so that as we move the weights, we're not arching and rolling. Okay? Here we go. 10. Ooh, we're going to count backwards this time. 9. Ribs over hips, not flared out. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Last 2. And last 1. Legs go down. Last round of hamstring walkouts, and we'll stay on the floor. So I'm going to change my camera for the last time. Oop. 4 little walkouts. While we're here, before we get started, let's do some pelvic tilt. So flatten your back down into the floor, let your pubic bone lift up, and then reverse it. See if you can do this without engaging every muscle in your body. Just little movements, tilting the pelvis one way then the other. Flatten your back and arch your back. And then we're going to stop in that flattened position, the posterior tilt. Lift up and walk it out. And down. 2. And down nice and easy on your back. And down. And last 1. Out, out, take it as far as you can. And bring it back in. And hug your knees into your chest. And hang out here. A lot of tension holding that bridge while your legs are walking. You rock side to side. Make little circles. Maybe take your legs up and pull them in. Or a happy baby. Let's do a happy baby before we do our planks. Let's do a nice stretch through the hamstrings. And the groin and the back. And we're rolling it up. We have our side plank star reaches. We're only going to do 3 on each side. But we're going to come into our side plank. And I'll do the first one from my knee. So my bottom knee is going to be on the floor. My top leg is going to be straight. So you want to make sure your elbow is directly under your shoulder. Your elbow is out here because it's comfortable. As soon as you lift up into it, you're putting a lot of torque on the joint. So keep everything lined up nice and straight. And you want your shoulder, when I lift up, my hips press forward. So I'm in a straight line from my shoulder to my knee. So we're gonna reach up and over and stretch your leg back. So you're getting a nice big stretch all through your side, and then come back down. Kind of like a mermaid thing. We're gonna lift up and stretch. And come down. And one more. Up. And down. Let's go to side two. You're thinking, maybe this isn't so bad doing it from your knees. So we're going to come up, top leg comes up and kicks back, and your arm is reaching back also a little bit, and down. And come up, and reach, and come down. Kick back with that leg, get that nice big stretch through the front of your hip, and come on down. We're going to do this one more time. I'm going to try doing it for my toes. When you do it from your toes, it's much more of a balance challenge. It might be a little bit harder on your knees. But we're going to come up into that side plank, find it first, kick that leg back, and reach your arm overhead. And up. 2. And 3. Nice. Getting ready to do side 2. My left side is so challenged. Find your side plank and reach. And come down. Up. Reach. Let's come on to hands and knees. Let's do some easy cat-cows. And some easy circles. We have a finisher. And then we're going to stretch. Finisher, we can do standing or seated. Because of the way my camera is, I'm going to do them seated. Pull my bench forward. So I haven't done a lot of shoulders today, but we've done enough. So we're going to finish with a thing called Scarecrows. So we're going to start with a lateral raise, rotate back, down, and in. And we're going to go for, say 45 seconds. If you need to stop and you're done, you're done. The point of a finisher is to work your shoulders so you can't work them anymore. Not to work them until time's up and you've lost your form and you're getting hurt. So if you get tired and you're done, you're done. But we're going to start now. 45 seconds. Up, up, down, down. Form is everything. You can go your own pace. Doesn't have to be mine. We're probably all using different weights. Up. Nice. Stay strong. 15 seconds left. If you're done, you're done. I might be done on one side. Ooh, I might just need to slow down and take a little break. Roll your shoulders, reset, lift, up, down, down. Last one. Woo! Nice work. Weights down. Take your hands behind your back, pull them down, and lift them up. And let your chin drop towards your chest. And then slowly, gently, keeping your hands stretched the way they are, look up. See if you can pull your shoulders down just a little bit more. And reach up with your lower jaw. And then gently release Bring your hands to the front. You're gonna let your back round. So tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, and reach forward. Alrighty, let's take one arm up and reach behind your head. Little tricep stretch, and we'll lean over. And switching sides. Just reach for the opposite elbow. And gently lean to one side. Shake your arms out just a little bit. Ensure the blood's still flowing. And then we'll catch one arm and go for a shoulder stretch. So check in that you're not hunching your shoulder, you're pulling it down. And a little puppy that wants to get into the room. And let's go to the other side. Come down on the floor. Let's give the hips a good stretch. So actually, let's work our way to the floor. Let's start seated in our Z-sit. And rotate and come up and over. Just do about 4 on each side. Reach and twist. And a side bend. Last one. Up and over. There we go. Swing it around to the other side. Oh, stretch feels so good. Yeah. A lot of things we did, especially in that first set. Now I take it back. Everything we did today required a lot of what they call postural integrity. And that's a lot of muscle control. So if your back is feeling unusually tired, but we didn't do a lot of specific back exercises, that's what you're feeling. So let's slowly, gently roll all the way down onto the floor. If your knees come up, they come up. Okay, let's make some circles. And then bring our legs up to tabletop with our arms out. And take our knees down to one side. And the other. Now let's cross left knee over right. And hug both legs in. Give those hips a nice big stretch. We're going to hang out here for about 30 seconds. If it feels good, you can twist a little bit to the right. We'll go deeper into the stretch. 15 more seconds. Breathe, relax. Thank your body for what it did this morning. It's not an easy workout. And we'll come back to center in 3, 2, 1. Bring your right foot down. Slide your left ankle onto your knee. So your left knee is going out to the side. And let's butterfly that knee. And keeping that knee away, let's twist down to the right. So we're opening up through the front of your left hip. Front and side. And again, we'll stay here for another 20 seconds. And then we'll come back up in 3, 2, 1. Hold it here, reach behind your right leg, pull on your right leg, push on your left thigh. And let's just kind of wiggle around, see what feels good, so you can get your back to pop. Sometimes making tiny little circles, you can get things to loosen up and pop. And let's bring that down, switching sides, right knee over left, hook both legs in, give that right hip a nice big stretch. We're going to stay here for about 40 seconds. If it feels good, twist a little bit to your left. It will go deeper into your right hip muscles. Back to center in 3, 2, 1. Let's bring your foot down, slide your right ankle over your left knee, butterfly that right knee. Let's out to the side, but it's moving away from you and towards you. And then holding it away, we're going to twist down to the left. Whew, give that right hip a nice big stretch, right through where the IT band comes. Give it another 10 seconds. Breathe, enjoy. Don't fall asleep on me. Let's come back up to center and we'll do the piriformis stretch one more time. So you're going to reach behind your left thigh and push against your right thigh, not the knee joint, the thigh bone. Push, pull, kind of rock side to side, wiggle, see where you get the best stretch. And we're going to hold it. Ten more seconds. Hang in there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring both feet down. Stretch them out long. Stretch your arms long overhead so we're in a nice big pencil stretch. Notice what your back is doing. When I did this, my back, all my rib cage, my whole rib cage popped up off the floor. I want you to settle into the stretch with your rib cage on the floor. So think about pulling those ribs down. Maybe you need to start in a pelvic tilt and hold it down. And then when you've got your rib cage on the floor and your low back is in contact with the floor, maybe not pressed into it, but you can feel it. Let's take everything over to the right. Legs and arms, hips and shoulders stay on the floor. Big breath in, stretch through your left side. And then come back to center. And we'll go over to the left. And then come back to center, let your arms come down, take one leg up and over. A nice big full body stretch, stretch out your chest muscles too. And then come back and we'll go to the other side. And then we are done. Done, done, done. Let's roll it up. Checking that everything is still attached and working. You guys did great. It was not an easy workout. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you on Thursday.